Okay, we're going to go over the entire collection today. So, start over here with the smallest. This is a 10-inch bar. It's an M12. It's not very powerful. It originally had a 6-inch bar and chain on it, which I found out that they have a 10-inch pole saw bar and chain that will fit on it. And it does good. It'll cut through that. It'll just take you longer. Then we'll go to the M18 top handle. This is a great saw, really powerful. I'd put it up against these two little 32cc saws. Maybe not that one anymore because it's ported now, but right now it's sporting the 14-inch bar, but I have the 12-inch bar and chain as well, and it usually wears the 12-inch. I put that on. I was going to loan it to someone to try and get rid of some stumps or flush some stumps. Needless to say, he didn't get far with it and realized he didn't have the skills or the saw to do what he needed to do. So he didn't get done. This one, the 015L, it's a pretty old one. Probably almost as old as the 08, but not quite. Is as old as the 075 and the 020 AV. So not my oldest saw, but getting there. This is a clamshell saw. You see there's 4 bolts right here that actually hold the motor together. And they're a homeowner saw. They're not a real great saw. It's a cool looking old saw, but that's about it. Okay, the 020 AV. You guys know this one. I just got done porting it. And I just today did the... I did a base gasket delete when I ported it, but today I did the timing advance. And I put its original tank back on it. I'll have to show you guys this. It's got the embossed lettering again. Yes. I finally found a choke. I broke the choke for this one and I could not find a choke for it. And I finally found a new choke on eBay. So these two are 32 cc's, so they're not real powerful. That one does pretty good now that it's ported, but yeah, as you see, they're both sporting 12-inch bars, so they're not the most powerful saws. Then you come to this one. This is a reed valve saw, which, you know, it operates on a different principle that has no intake port, so you can't change the intake timing. And, see if I can clean it off here. Behind these this plate with these 3 little screws on it is the oil pump. It runs off of impulse, just like the fuel pump. And it's the only Stihl that I'm aware of that had impulse. Even these 2 older ones, they still have oil pumps with gears. So this is 40.7 cc's, a 009L. Don't know if I mentioned that. It's actually bigger than the 200T, but because the 200T is more modern and ported, it's a lot more powerful. It's a beast. It cuts a little faster, I'll just say that. I did put the same quarter pitch conversion, 14-inch. These both have quarter pitch on them. These two are both, I'm pretty sure they're both 325. I know I use the same file to file both of them, so I'm pretty sure Milwaukee uses 325. The new dual battery rear handle, I may be wrong on that one. This one, everybody knows this one too, my 200T. That crankcase right there with the little crack in it, and the flywheel under that crankcase, or in front of that crankcase, are the only 2 used parts. And there's only one non-OEM part, and that's the coil. I use DZE Unlimited coils. This one has one, this one has one, this one has one. This one has one, that one's getting one. So if I can get one for it, it's gonna wear one. This one I could put the same coil, I'm pretty sure that those take on it. So it may get one too if I ever get it sealed up. You can't run a chainsaw with an air leak. That one leaks air bad. So there's the top handles, the small saws. Okay. Continue in size. Got an 18-inch bar, 325 on the 026. It's actually an 024 is what it started out life as, but I put the 026 top end on it and ported it. This thing runs great. I'd put it up against any of the the home gamer saws. She's a little ripper. If I ever get the chain to where I can actually sharpen chains real good, that's going to be probably my favorite saw. Well, I say that about them all. This is probably my favorite saw. It's the oldest saw I own. It starts every time. It sits there and goes pop pop until you're ready to cut wood. '08. And it has an '08S cover on it. It's kind of my rat rod saw, you know. It doesn't look the greatest, but it runs. I mean, it runs, and it cuts really good too. These are both 50cc. Well, this one's 49 something, 49.8 or something. This one's 48 cc's. This one's more powerful, but this one cuts faster. This one runs at higher RPM. This one, I would call this one a better saw until I ported this one. This one, non-ported, was not the best saw. Okay, here we go. This one has a 3/8.063, the Pro bar and chain. It's 20 inch. The original bar was lost in the mail. It escaped the box, the cardboard box that it was shipped in. So I set it up that way. That's not actually correct. It should have had this bar on it, the 20 inch 3/8.050. So when I get the 32 inch bar for this bad boy, that one gets a new OEM, closer to the right era too, bar and chain. Now we're going to come on to the 046, and it's an 046. It's not a 460, and this is actually a 440 handle and you know, air filter cover and everything. But they're interchangeable. The crankcases are the same. The flywheel, or the flywheel's the same. The starter cover's the same on both of them. The clutch cover, the crankcase itself is the same on both of them. The cylinders are different. This one's got a few more cc's than the 440. And I call it a 046 because of this cap. Any of them that had this cap that you use the screwdriver to open, they're the older saws. They start with 026, 08, 009. So that's kind of how you can tell how old the saws are, if they made them before and after the MS. MS just stands, I think, for motor saw. I don't know how you pronounce it in German, but that's all it boils down to: motorized saw, or motor saw motor. All right, it's got a 20 inch 3/8 pitch 050 bar and chain, but it's going to get a 32 soon now that it's been ported. And it's got the timing advance as well. This one I did timing advance on. I did timing advance on this one the other day. I still need to do it on that one. I don't know if I'll do it to that one or port it. This one got it. This one just got it today with this one. So this one and the 200T got it first. And that leaves us to the Beast 075 AVE. She's rocking a 36 inch 404 chain. It's a Sumara bar. I had a OEM bar on it, but I also had a 051 that I gave to Oliver of All Trades or something. He turned out to be a little douchebag, so I don't really care about his channel anymore. I wish he would have came out as a racist person before I sent him that saw for free, but that's all right. I gave it to him because he always wears his safety gear. And he didn't have a really big, like, monster old saw, but he likes them, so I hooked the boy up. This one's 111 cc's. I don't know if I mentioned, this one's 77 cc's. That one's 111 cc's, guys. That's why it's got the D handle. It just helps you start it without losing your shoulder. I don't have decomps on either one of these two. They're the only two I have that I could put a decomp on, but I don't really use decomps. If it gets too powerful, I'll just, too much compression, put your D handle on there. That thing ain't getting yanked out of your hand, I promise, or at least not out of mine. And it kind of help separate the people that should operate that saw from the people that should not. If you can't start that saw, then you probably shouldn't touch that saw, because she's a beast. She will cut your leg off in a blink. So this is actually the saw that made me buy chainsaw pants. I never had chaps until I bought that saw, and I was like, you know, I think I'll get some chainsaw pants. I really need the helmet and the face shield too, even though it's just screen. A lot of help some stainless steel screen's gonna do. But there you go, gentlemen. There's the collection. This was the first saw I bought, I want to say about 4 years ago now. I used my boss's granddad's. His was a 009, and I had to have one of them. I mean, it was just the nastiest little saw that I had ever used. And mine's at least twice as nasty, because it's got a 1/4 pitch bar. It's got a muffler mod. This is the first one I started actually making go a little quicker. So it's got the West Coast saw muffler mod. A few of them. This one's got an aftermarket dog. This one has got West Coast saw 3-point felling dog. That one's got a West Coast saw 3-point felling dog. I can't get them for all of them. I wish I could. I'd have them on everything. This one's got West Coast saw 3-point felling dogs on it. This one will get them. I haven't decided what all I'm gonna use from West Coast saw. I know I don't want the bark box. And the felling dogs, if you don't buy the bark box, it's kind of weird. They sell a set for a whole saw. And then I kind of do want the clutch cover. Mine's got a break in it down there at the bottom. And so I would kind of like it, but it may just get the clutch cover from them. Those are just some cheap eBay felling dogs. When I got that saw, it had none at all. I'm guessing the saw they bought to replace that one, because the seals were gone in that saw. The pulse was gone. And actually the pulse may have been okay. It could have just been the seals were gone, so it didn't have enough pressure inside the crankcase to pump the fuel. Let's go over that too. Seals. This one, and this one have new seals. That one has new seals, but that's a new build. Put new seals in that one. Put new seals in that one. I have seals for this one and this one. I can't get the flywheel off of this one. You need a special puller. Still haven't figured it out. And the muffler there with the big gaping hole is eventually going to get some kind of little, you know, funny cover for it, like I did that one. They were both cut out gaping like that. That thing hurt your ears though, too bad. So I did it first. And this one they don't make. That one they don't make the West Coast felling dogs for. Neither of these three do they make the felling dogs for. And it's weird, because that saw is like, this is an 020 AV, then it was an 020T and an 020 and an MS200T. So they're like the same lineage, but they changed dogs in there. If you know how these go on, there's two little tabs on them that get screwed in, and this one doesn't even have felling dogs. This one doesn't have felling dogs. They just have those. This one actually used to have that. It just had these 4 little bumps. Like, those aren't felling dogs, but it did have screw holes for real felling dogs. So that's its godsend, its savior. This one has the same clutch on it. It has an MS200T clutch on it too. This comes as a kit with the clutch, the oil pump drive, which I now have an extra, and the bar and chain. So there you have it, guys, the entire collection. And of all these, this is the only one that doesn't run, so that's pretty good. All these saws, how old some of them are, and that's the only one that doesn't run. So, well, there you guys have it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it sure tricks that algorithm into showing my videos to more people.